the green screening effect and make it look nice and neat and clean. We actually don't use the green screening stuff in Premiere. The Premiere Pro version is a lot better, but Premiere Elements, it's just hard to use, and it doesn't really ever get all of the green out. It just like makes it look gray and grainy. So we actually use iMovie for green screening. It's way easier. But the first thing you'll need is whatever your background is going to be. So I know you said you liked the like moving, backgrounds or whatever. Ours are based on the color of our teams, which we have a green team and a gold team. So usually the background is something along those lines. I know you guys are purple, so you'll probably do like purple motion background. And then, here's like a whole playlist of like 213 different ones. Of course, you'll want to get one that's good quality. So like some of these will say 4K and so on and so forth. They have to be under 5 minutes, I think, because maybe it's 10 minutes. I don't know if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but it can't be like really long, like an hour like this. It has to be one that's relatively short. All these look like they're pretty good condition. You just want to click. Let me go ahead and get through this ad real quick. You'll just want to check right here and make sure that it's at least 480p. Preferably, you're going to want it to be 720p or better. But 720p is going to be the only thing that you can export. I'm also going to show you, and I'm going to make another video for this, how to change all your camera settings, because by default they're only shooting in 720p, and really they can shoot in 1080, which is much better. So let's say you wanted this background. All you have to do is, and since this is a playlist, you actually can't copy it from here, so you'd have to go right here, share, and then copy this URL, because this is just that individual video. If you copy it up here, it's actually the whole playlist. So we could just say copy, and then you go to this program, which I know in our email correspondence with just all the broadcast teachers, they've talked about this program. It's called Kapwing, even though it's spelled like Kapwing, but it's actually pronounced Kapwing. And you can actually rip videos from YouTube here. Now, before you could actually get the video and it looked all nice and neat, but as Kapwing has gotten more and more popular, it actually puts this really big watermark on it now. So I'd really only recommend using it for your anchor footage, because your anchors are going to be covering up that watermark. It's in the bottom right hand corner. But anything else, you probably wouldn't want to use it because it's going to have that huge watermark on it. So Kapwing is actually an online video editor. It's not very good, so we just use it to take stuff from YouTube. But you'd put it in there, and then see right here, this one's an hour, so it won't even let me export the project because it says that I have to have the paid subscription to do that. So let me actually get this one that's only 5 minutes. I'll do share, copy, go back here, go back to my workspace. I'll actually just delete this. And new project. I was wondering why it was taking so long to render it or pull it up. Okay, what's happening here? Anyway, you don't need to wait for this. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it's a square, because it doesn't look like it's a square over here, but whatever. This is just for how to do it. So you just click export, and you can also do this to get songs and sound effects and stuff like that. So if the kids want to use a copywritten song, that's fine. I would just limit that to one per broadcast, and I would also recommend that they get something like an instrumental version or a trap remix or something like that, because all of those are going to be copyright free. If you get flagged for it being copyright, that's usually fine on YouTube. You'll just get demonetized, which you're not making any money off this anyway, so that doesn't matter. But occasionally, depending on, especially if it's like really popular trance music over in Europe or something like that, sometimes they will completely block your video totally. And obviously you don't want to do that. So you just click export, you do MP4, resolution, it says auto, so it says standard definition HD. Usually it's always going to automatically convert it to HD, which is 720p, but it's not going to be full HD. As you can see, that's got the little stars, which means that you have to have the paid version to get full HD. Now full HD is 1080p, which again, I'll show you how to do that on your camera in just a moment. I would also recommend you go back here and tell your kids to delete this after they've downloaded it. I'll just go ahead and do this just so you can see. You'll click export MP4, click export as MP4. It'll process it right here, but it doesn't automatically download. Once it's processed, then you have to click this button that says download file, and then it'll download it. And it names it something really random like final 146A whatever, and a bunch of numbers and letters. So you'll want them to rename it so that it's something that they know, like purple wormhole or whatever this title is over here. But so that's how you do that. Now once you have that video, you'll go back to this is iMovie over here. Why is this? I don't know why this is so small. Okay, there we go. So this is iMovie. So as you can see, I have a ton of these different backgrounds here. And I'll get my footage. For this recent broadcast, we use this like fireplace with the Christmas tree and everything like that. So I'll just show you how to do it in iMovie. So you click this button to import in whatever footage you want. Oh, and one thing too, iMovie at the beginning of the year this year was not updated, and even though we have administrative passwords as broadcast teachers, we can't get onto the App Store because the iMovie is actually from the App Store, so you have to put in a work order. Luckily, they can do that remotely, so it only took like a day when I had them update iMovie. But where is it? I think it's this. Yeah, okay, so here's our green screen footage. One thing too is you want to make sure your green screen is really nice and neat, like it's an even shade of green. If you have dark spots or shadows and stuff like that, it's not gonna be able to get all of that out. So I actually use 4 lights. I have 2 behind my anchors that are on the green screen that make it an even shade of green, and then I have 2 in front of the anchors that actually light the anchors. So I'll import that in. You'll put in your green screen footage first. So you just click and hold and you drag it down to your timeline. And then you put your, whatever your background is, you're going to put that behind it. And then once you do that, you just lift up on these. Like you just click on the footage and lift it up. And then as you can see, the green screen is still there, so we need to get rid of it. So with this clip selected, I go up here and click on this little like box inside of a box, and I change it from cutaway to green slash blue screen. Ugh, couldn't say that. And there we go, it automatically took it all away. Now there's some parts where it kind of doesn't look very good, like right here and up at the top. You can actually clean it up a little bit. You can only click this once, but if you click on this little eraser thing, you can click on the spots that you want to get rid of and see it cleaned it up a little bit. So now, the footage looks good. And now I can go up here, and this is the export button. So even though it says share, you click that and then you say export file. And then you say next. And then this is where you name it and tell it where you want to save it to. And it'll take a moment to save. Now you can't close out of iMovie obviously while it's exporting. So yeah, make sure you don't do that. So yeah, that's how to use iMovie for green screening, and also how to download clips from Kapwing. Again, I'll make another video in just a few minutes that shows you how to change your camera settings.